In the program that we have seen earlier, we showed how to use structures, and it is rather simple-minded. So all it does is it receives values into various structure elements and outputs those values. But that is exactly what we intended to do anyway. That is to show how structure types are created, how structure variables are declared, and how individual elements of a structure variable are referenced. Now, if we want to store data of 100 books, we would be required to use 100 different structured variables from B1 to B100. So before you had 3 books, so you wrote struct book B1, B2, B3. Now if you have 100 books, you would probably write B1, B2, B3, so on up to B100. As you can see, this is not very convenient. A better approach would be to use an array of structures. Remember, an array can hold multiple values of the same data type. Now, an array of structures is nothing but an array It's an array, so it's having indices, and each array location is going to have a structure variable. That is, array index 0 is going to have all information about book 0, index 1 will have all information about book 1, index 2 will have all information about book 2, and so on. Now remember, your structure is basically this one here. Let's say B1 had the name, let's call it A, price 9.99, pages 100. So this entire thing is going to sit here. So your array with index 0 is going to internally contain 3 more fields. Okay, now let's look at it more closely. So you have index 0, index 1, and index 2. Now index 0 is going to contain all information about book 1. So it has 3 attributes. So internally, it's going to be divided as the name of the book, the price of the book, and the number of pages in a book. And that is for book B1 or B0, whatever you call it. Similarly, array index 1 is going to have all information about book 1. So internally, it is segregated as book 1 name, book 1 price, and book 1 pages. The same thing happens for book 2. So this is an array, and each location in the array or each element in the array is a structure variable. So let's see how to write this in a program form. Main struct book character, let's say name or title of 20, float price, and int pages. Close it. Now here I'm going to say struct book B of 100. So we are storing data for 100 books. Int I, and then I'm going to write a loop which says for I equals 0, I less than or equals 99, I plus plus, print, enter information for book percentile D, comma I, scanf, percentile S. Remember, ideally you wouldn't want to use percentile S because If you use percentile s to read a string, you cannot read multi-word string. But for simplicity, I'm just going to use it for now. Percentile f and percentile d, comma, ampersand b of I. So when I is 0, that is book 0 dot name, comma, ampersand book 0 or book I dot price, and ampersand book I dot pages. So this is how you can read information into 99 books. Similarly, using similar syntax, we can also display the information. Now, if you want to display all information for book 1 or book 0, I can simply write printf percentile s, percentile f, percentile d, comma, book 0 of name, comma, book 0 of price, comma, book 0 of pages. In fact, you can use a loop to print information for all the 100 books. If you do not want to initialize the data here for all the books, there's another way that you can do it. So I'm going to take this statement here and rewrite it. That's going to be struct book b of 100 equals. First, I'm going to enter information for book 0, and it has 3 attributes. I can write intro, comma, the price 59.99, and the pages, let's say 100, comma. Now I can write information for book 2. So I can write this as junior, comma, 899, comma, 200, comma, so on. So all of these can go in a single line, but I just chose to write it in a different line so that you can get better clarity. In this way, you can fill information for 100 books. So this information belongs to book 0, this information belongs to book 1, and so on, and this information would belong to book 99. So this is another way in which you can initialize data for an array of structures.